I said, if I was a Hollywood filmmaker, I would have made a film on this theme. Aliens come, and the first thing they do coming here on this planet, close down all the banks. Your ATM machine doesn't work, credit card doesn't work, your account figures disappeared, nobody knows what's going on. The whole world is in a collapse situation. Because if you don't have banks, nothing exists. It would be a beautiful horror movie. I said, for 2/3 of the world population, it's a horror world every day. We don't notice it because we are not part of it. Today, when our banks are collapsing, suddenly we are screaming. Because they are not lending money, they are not doing business, everything is collapsing because of that. For those 2/3 of the population, that institution doesn't exist. Imagine what a life is all about. So that was the reason why we went ahead, trying to help people instead of borrowing from the loan sharks. Can we make an arrangement to make it easy for them to borrow and pay back? That's where the $27 ad that you mentioned came from, trying to save 42 people from the loan sharks. So I said, I can give the money. They don't have to borrow from the loan sharks and go through all the misery that it created. And that was the beginning. I had no idea that it will have a second part to it or a third step to it. But the excitement that generated in the 42 people kind of pulled me into it. The basic question that came to my mind, if you can make so many people so happy with such a small amount of money, why shouldn't you do it? And that's a question I'm raising again, 2009, in April. With $2,200 loan in Jackson Heights, if you can make so many people so happy, why shouldn't you do more of it? So, and then we did more of it. And as a result, we created this bank. Today, Grameen Bank has nearly 8 million borrowers. And not only we have 8 million borrowers in this bank, they are the owners of the bank. Bank is not owned by somebody else. So again, we made a departure from the conventional way of thinking. When you talk about a bank, you know the owners of the bank are very rich people. It goes together. We made the other way. It's the poorest of the women in Bangladesh. They own this bank. They sit in the board. They made the decision. It goes on. And this bank is dedicated to their life. It gives loan for their children to go to school, go to higher education. So they themselves are totally illiterate people. But their children, the second generation, are educated. Many of them are highly educated. With the Grameen Bank student loan, they are in medical school, engineering schools, universities. Some of them completing their PhDs. It's amazing second generation in one step. From mother's generation, their parents' generation, to their own generation. Complete departure from the vicious circle that we always had about poverty disappeared. All because an institution came to step in, to release that energy people have, and continue on that one. So you ask the question again and again, why people are poor? You have your own explanation. Everybody has their own explanation. I have mine. I always come back to the same conclusion on that issue. Poverty is not created by the poor people. It's not their fault. Poverty is created by the institutions we built, or institution we didn't build. That's what poverty is created for. Policies that we pursue, that created poverty. Concepts that we have designed, that created poverty. Poverty is not in the person. Poverty is an artificial imposition on the persons. Since it's an artificial imposition, if you stand up and decide we don't want it, we can peel it off. A real person will emerge. Because real person is big, with enormous capacity inside that person. So how do we redesign that? That's an opportunity right now we have because of the crisis. Let's redesign. You have your idea what redesigning should take place for. I have mine. Let's pull together so that we have a new system and we feel that we can address those issues which other institutions could not address. And I particularly come to the issue of the concept of business. I said that's where one concept which we need to change. This is an opportunity again. Because today the concept of business is a very rigid concept, very limited concept. Economists interpreted human beings as money makers. So they build a system system of business which says business is for making money only. Profit maximization is the mission of business. It's okay. All I'm saying, human beings are not one-dimensional beings. There are other dimensions to human being. Why can't we include the whole human being into that picture of economics? We are selfish people. As a human being, we are selfish. That's a part of us. At the same time, we are selfless people. That's also part of us. I don't think anybody can present a human being before me and say, he's all selfish, nothing selfless. I wouldn't believe it. I said, he still didn't get a chance to express it, but it's there. It's a question of expressing it. And our theories, our concepts has blocked it out so that we cannot express it. I said, in redesigning process, we should be including this aspect into the system. We should be building money-making businesses that way we have, in a responsible way, of course, based on our own selfishness, to bring things to ourselves. And then we should build another type of business which is based on selflessness. That business is to make a difference to others rather than having things for me. And I call them social business. And people say, no, people are not crazy to do such a thing. I said, you know what? People are crazier than that. They give away their money. I'm not talking about giving away. I'm talking about investing it for a business to do good to others. What's wrong with it? You get your money back. So which one is crazier? Giving away is crazier? Or investing it in recycling is crazier?